If you are over 60 and lying awake at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling while your mind replays every conversation from the past week, I need you to understand something crucial. Your sleep system is not broken beyond repair. What is happening inside your body is actually a predictable shift in your neurochemistry, and, more importantly, it is something you can address without relying on medications that leave you feeling foggy the next morning. The technique I am going to share with you today was developed by military researchers who needed to solve an urgent problem. How do you get fighter pilots to fall asleep when they are sitting in cockpits, surrounded by noise, facing life or death decisions the next morning, and operating under conditions that would keep most people awake for days? The answer they discovered works regardless of your circumstances, whether you are dealing with chronic pain, worrying about your grandchildren, or simply finding that your body refuses to cooperate when you need rest most. Before we get into the specific steps of this method, I want you to understand why your sleep has changed and why the advice you have probably been given might actually be making things worse. The common assumption is that older adults need less sleep, and you have probably heard this repeated by well-meaning friends or even healthcare providers who should know better. This is completely false. Your brain and body require the same 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep that you needed in your 40s and 50s. What has changed is not your sleep need, but rather your sleep architecture. Inside your brain, the pineal gland produces a hormone called melatonin, which rises in the evening and signals to your body that it is time to power down for the night. As you age, your pineal gland does not stop producing melatonin entirely, but the timing becomes less precise and the overall amount decreases. Think of it like a dimmer switch that used to move smoothly from bright to dark but now flickers and takes longer to reach full darkness. At the same time, your cortisol rhythm, which should drop significantly at night, often remains elevated for longer periods. Cortisol is your alertness hormone, the chemical that keeps you scanning for threats and thinking about problems that need solving. When cortisol stays high while melatonin stays low, you end up in this frustrating middle zone where you are exhausted but wired, physically tired but mentally activated. Most sleep advice focuses on what is called sleep hygiene, and you have heard these recommendations before. Keep your bedroom cool and dark. Avoid screens before bed. Do not drink caffeine after noon. Establish a consistent sleep schedule. These guidelines are not wrong exactly, but they treat sleep like a habit you can train through repetition and environmental control. The problem is that when you are lying in bed at 2 in the morning with your heart racing and your thoughts spiraling, telling yourself to relax or trying to force yourself to stop thinking simply does not work. You cannot willpower your way into sleep any more than you can willpower your heart to beat slower. What you need instead is a physiological intervention, a technique that speaks directly to your nervous system and triggers the biological cascade that leads to sleep. This is where the military method becomes invaluable. The technique was refined and tested at the United States Navy pre-flight school, where instructors faced a serious problem. Student pilots were so anxious about their training and performance that they could not sleep, which then impaired their ability to learn complex skills and make split-second decisions in the cockpit. The military needed a solution that worked quickly, required no equipment, and could be performed anywhere under any conditions. What they developed was a combination of progressive muscle relaxation, controlled breathing, and specific visualization techniques that together create what sleep researchers call a parasympathetic response. Your nervous system has 2 modes. The sympathetic mode is your fight or flight system, the ancient wiring that helped your ancestors survive by staying alert to danger. The parasympathetic mode is your rest and digest system, the state where your body performs repair work, consolidates memories, and restores energy reserves. The military method essentially hacks your nervous system by sending multiple simultaneous signals that tell your body it is safe to enter parasympathetic mode. Here is what makes this approach different from typical relaxation advice. First, it works with your physiology rather than against it. You are not trying to stop thinking or force yourself to relax. Instead, you are performing specific physical actions that automatically trigger relaxation responses. Second, it addresses the whole system at once. Your muscle tension, your breathing pattern, your mental imagery, and your body temperature all influence each other. When you change all of them together using the right sequence, the cumulative effect is much more powerful than addressing any single factor. Third, and this is critical for anyone dealing with chronic insomnia, the method becomes more effective with practice. The first night you try it, you might notice some improvement. After a week of consistent practice, your body begins to recognize the sequence and drops into sleep mode more quickly. After a month, many people report that they can fall asleep within minutes of starting the technique. I want to be clear about something before we go further. This method is remarkably effective for the vast majority of people, but it is not a cure-all for every sleep problem. If you are dealing with obstructive sleep apnea, where your breathing actually stops during the night, you need to work with a sleep specialist and possibly use a SPAP device. If your insomnia is related to restless leg syndrome, where you feel compelled to move your legs constantly, you may need to address potential iron deficiency or other underlying causes. If you are taking medications that interfere with sleep as a side effect, you should discuss alternatives with your doctor. The military method works best for what is called psychophysiological insomnia, which is the type caused by a combination of mental activation and physical tension. This is by far the most common form of insomnia in older adults, and it is exactly what this technique was designed to address. Now that you understand why your sleep has changed, and why this military technique is uniquely suited to address the problem, let me walk you through the exact steps you will use tonight when you get into bed. I am going to be very specific about the sequence because the order matters. Each step builds on the previous one, and skipping ahead or rushing through diminishes the effectiveness. Think of this like learning a musical instrument. The first time you practice, you will be consciously thinking about each movement. Within a few nights, the sequence will start to feel natural. Within 2 weeks, your body will begin the relaxation response as soon as you start the first step because it has learned to associate this pattern with sleep. The method has 5 distinct phases, and we are going to move through your body systematically from top to bottom. This descending pattern is intentional because tension tends to accumulate in your upper body, particularly in your face, neck, and shoulders. When you release tension in these areas first, it becomes easier to relax everything. Below, you can perform this technique sitting up in a chair if you prefer, but most people find it works best when they are already lying down in bed with the lights off. Make sure you are positioned comfortably on your back with your arms resting at your sides. If lying flat causes discomfort in your lower back, place a pillow under your knees. If you have acid reflux or breathing issues, elevate your upper body slightly with an extra pillow. The goal is to start from a position where you are not fighting any physical discomfort. Phase 1 focuses entirely on your face, and this is where many people experience the most dramatic shift because we hold tremendous tension in our facial muscles without realizing it. Close your eyes gently. Do not squeeze them shut, but let your eyelids rest naturally. Now bring your attention to your forehead. Most people carry stress here, creating horizontal lines across their brow from hours of concentration or worry. Consciously smooth out your forehead. Imagine the skin stretching and releasing. Let your eyebrows drop and separate slightly. Move your awareness to the small muscles around your eyes. These muscles have been working all day, focusing and refocusing. Thousands of times. Let them go completely soft. Your eyes should feel like they are sinking back slightly into your skull. Now focus on your jaw. This is crucial. If you clench your teeth during the day or grind them at night, your jaw muscles are chronically tight. Let your jaw hang loose. Your teeth should not be touching. Your tongue should rest gently on the floor of your mouth, not pressed against the roof. Some people find it helpful to open their mouth slightly and then let it close naturally without any muscular effort. Feel the weight of your lower jaw. Let it be heavy. Finally, relax your lips. They should be barely touching, soft and still. When your entire face is relaxed, you should feel almost expressionless, like a mask has been removed. This facial relaxation sends a powerful signal to your brainstem that you are safe and that vigilance is no longer required. Phase 2 moves to your neck and shoulders, which is where most adults over 60 carry the bulk of their physical tension. Your shoulders have probably been hiked up toward your ears for hours without you noticing. Start by taking a slow, deep breath in through your nose. As you inhale, deliberately raise your shoulders up toward your ears, creating exaggerated tension. Hold that shrug for 3 seconds. Now exhale slowly through your mouth and let your shoulders drop completely. Let them fall away from your ears. Feel them melting down into the mattress. Your neck should lengthen slightly as your shoulders lower. Now focus on the back of your neck where it meets your skull. This area often holds tension from hours of looking down at phones or books. Imagine warm water running down the back of your neck, dissolving any tightness. Let your head settle more deeply into your pillow. Some people find it helpful to gently roll their head from side to side once or twice, but this is optional. The key is to feel that your head is being fully supported by the pillow and that your neck muscles do not have to work to hold your head in place. Phase 3 addresses your arms and hands. Extend your awareness down your right arm from your shoulder to your fingertips. Make a tight fist with your right hand. Squeeze hard. Tighten your entire forearm. Hold that tension for 3 seconds. Now release. Open your fingers. Let your hand rest palm up or palm down, whichever feels more natural. Feel the blood flowing back into your fingers. Notice any tingling or warmth. Your arm should feel heavy, like it is being pulled down by gravity. Repeat this same process with your left arm. Make a fist. Squeeze your forearm. Hold for 3 seconds, then release completely. Both arms should now feel like dead weight resting. On the bed, if you try to lift an arm, it should feel like it requires significant effort because your muscles are so deeply relaxed. Phase 4 works with your chest and core. Take a slow, deep breath in, filling your lungs completely. Hold that breath for just a moment. Now exhale slowly and completely, letting your chest collapse inward. As you exhale, let your entire torso soften. Your rib cage should expand and contract with minimal effort. Continue breathing naturally, but with each exhale, consciously relax your chest and abdomen a little more. Let your belly be soft. There is no need to hold your stomach in or maintain any particular posture. Imagine your torso is a balloon that is slowly deflating, becoming softer and heavier with each breath.